Yo, 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 what's up, what's up? Welcome back to a conversation with royalties. It's your boy JUSTROC from MCK Floor Gangs and Brick Mission Worldwide. Welcome back to the brand new episode, Conversation with Royalties Season 2, Episode 2, with a very special guest all the way from the UK, widely regarded as the first ever UK Bgirl, Bgirl HANIFA, aka Bgirl Bubbles. So, it's been a long time that I've been trying to do this interview. As many of you guys know, I used to live in the UK. I grew up in the UK and I left the UK all the way back in 2013. And I actually regret not being able to do this interview in person while I was living there. But, recently I've been on a personal journey of mine to try and reach out to as many OGs as possible, to try and listen to more about their stories, about their history, and about their journey in hip hop, so that I can grow as a person myself, as well as share with as many people as possible about their stories, because I really believe that their stories and their history deserve to be spread around to everybody in the scene, in the culture, so everybody can benefit from their knowledge. So better late than never, I finally managed to arrange a time to sit down with the Queen herself, to listen and to really absorb in everything that she has to say to me. And hopefully you guys in turn can learn something from what she shared. I'm really excited because it's been a long, long time coming. It's really long overdue to have this conversation with her. So I'm really grateful that she's managed to find the time to connect with me. And hopefully one day when the COVID restriction dies down, I'll be able to go back to the UK and really meet her face to face again, so that we can continue our conversation. But anyway, without further ado, enjoy Conversation with Royalty Season 2, Episode 2, with the one and only Bgirl Bubbles. I enjoy, and stay tuned for more guests coming up in this season, and watch this space. Enjoy. Peace. Right, yo, 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 what's up? Welcome to a Conversation with Royalty Season 2, Episode 2, the one and only Bgirl Bubbles. Yo, what's up, Bubbles?
Hey, I'm good. I prefer HANIFA.
Oh, HANIFA. Okay, Bgirl HANIFA, aka Bgirl Bubbles.
I'm all grown up now.
aka the first Bgirl in UK. All that.
I'm all grown up now. Yeah.
Well, where are you right now, actually? Where in the world are you right now?
I'm in Wolverhampton, England.
Nice.
That's the West Midlands, the county, the West Midlands. So, yeah.
I understand you have, is it true that you have some Caribbean heritage, or are you from Jamaica originally? Like, where are you originally from?
Well, Jamaica is in the Caribbean, so
nice.
Yes, we have Caribbean heritage, yeah.
Okay.
Of Jamaican parentage, so my heritage is Jamaican.
Were you born there, or were you born in the UK?
No, I was born in the UK, but spent a lot of I spent a lot of time in Jamaica, so we've embraced the culture, the heritage, as though it's our own, because we raise as Jamaicans in our home. That's the thing.
Nice.
If our parents are Jamaican, we raise as Jamaicans in our home. We speak the dialect and eat the food, everything. So
food is amazing. I tried Jamaican food before. It tastes amazing. Yeah. Okay, so let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of your childhood. Like, how did you first get in contact with the whole hip hop culture?
Right. So I was raised in a family that was very much into sound system.
Nice.
Just like you mentioned, coming from a Jamaican background, there's always a cultural element to music. And my elder brothers, they were all into sound system.
Wow.
And they would go out to clubs to play clubs, and some of them would go to centers to do dance, and just go out to youth centers and clubs, the nightclubs. And one of my brothers, well, two of them came back and they're telling me about a new dance, like a robot type of dance. So they used to tell me about this guy doing a robot dance, and it's a new craze, and he looked just like a robot, and they were doing it in the house. Things like that. So it kind of intrigued me in a way. It intrigued me, but back then I was into African dancing.
Oh, okay.
So I used to be into African dance when I was young. I started when I was about 7, 8 years old. The elders, they used to come home and teach me. My aunts, they always were into African dance. So that's where the dancing started, really.
Wow.
But coming back to my my first time of being involved in hip hop was when my brothers used to bring it into the house. That's the first in our home. So it's not like I went out and saw it, you know. My brothers, they brought it.
How much older were your brothers to you? Like how much older were they?
One's 1 year older, the other one's 4 years older, and then Birdie. Then we have Birdie. He was one of the B-boys. You know, he was younger than me. Yeah.
And were you already in Wolverhampton at the time? You were always in Wolverhampton, born and bred.
Yeah, I was always in Wolverhampton, born and bred
at
that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they come home and they will show you like what, like robotic moves, or were they already doing like breaking moves?
They was doing robotic dancing, and they was telling me that some guys was doing like breakdance moves, like the 6-step, things like that.
Okay.
Because at the time in the clubs, they used to do like jazz. It was like jazz dance and, you know, steppers and, you know, things like that. It was mainly jazz clubs and steppers clubs they would go to, even though they used to have a sound system playing Jamaican music in the other room, or, you know, but really what it was, the key thing here is that at these clubs, they used to do jazz dance, robotic dance, and some b-boy.
Okay.
But when my brothers came home, my brothers told me about the robot dance and how they were doing the robot dance. And then days used to go by, then my brothers would come home and say the guy was doing this move, which is top rock. And then they would come back and say this guy was doing these moves called a 6-step. You know, well, really, we didn't even call it 6-step back then. We just called it footwork, you know, the footwork move, you know, things like that. So, so back then, you know, they would always go home, you know, go to the clubs and come home with something new. And then one point now, they came home and they said to me, this is called breakdancing. And then that's how I got to learn of that name, breakdancing. I'm dealing with it now. I mean, like, of course, we call it b-boy because the corporates, you know, and the media want to call it breakdancing. But I'm just saying at the time, that's what they told me it was called, breakdancing. So by then, they used to go out to the clubs regular, you know.
What year are we talking about now? What period? Like 1980s or?
Early 1980s. You're talking 81.
Okay.
82. 81, around 81. Because back then, coming back to the Jamaican culture, we had blues. You know, blues is, you know, it's just basically like a party where everybody gather and you play music and, you know. So our elder brothers used to play sound system in blues.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, when saying brothers, our brothers, cousins, my uncles, they were all involved with music.
Wow.
And because I was the only girl in the family at the time, they were very much into the music culture, the dance culture, even sport, you know, because they were all into martial arts and all that, you know. So as a young girl, as the only girl in the family at the time, I kind of got a bit of each one of my brothers, every little thing, whatever they do, I got a bit of them, whether it's top rock, the 6-step, down to graffiti and DJing, you know.
Wow.
So I got a bit of everything from them, you know.
Sick.
Yeah, so I learned so much from them. So much.
Were you like instantly hooked on the kind of movement that you were seeing, like the robotic stuff and then the footwork? What was it that really captured your imagination and like, oh, I want to try that? Like, what was it that really stuck out of all the moves that you saw your brother doing? Like, what was the special move that stuck out for you?
You know, it was my brothers, because what happened? Okay, so what happened now? Back then, we started to hear that, you know, breakdance is going to be on the TV in the morning show. So we used to, you know, like wait for the morning shows to come on. And my brothers, because I was always the first one up in the house, you know. So my brothers used to say to me, when you get up, record this breakdance, you know, program. There's a program coming on breakdance, you know. So I was always recording them. Okay. So when my brothers used to come down and watch the recording, my brothers used to learn from that.
Oh, wow.
So when they used to learn from these, it used to be like the Buffalo Gals, Rocksteady Crew, you know. One time, basically what happened here, because back then I didn't embrace the dance culture as such. Because I was into African dance.
Yes.
But something just told me to give it a go and give it a try, you know? So my brothers, they went out to the club. One day they went out to the club, and I was home by myself, and I pushed the table aside and the chairs aside. And what happened is that I was doing the footwork. I was trying to practice, you know, see the moves. And one day my brothers came in and they caught me.
Oh, you were very young at that time, right?
Yeah, I was about 11 years old. I was very young.
Oh my God, so young.
I was young. I was 11, 12.
And you
14,
were just trying these moves.
Just trying them. Just trying them.
And your brothers
and
caught
what
you.
happened? They caught me doing it. They caught me doing it. And when they came in the room, I was doing a 6-step, and they said, they was like, do that again. And I did it again. They said, who taught you how to do that move? I said, I was looking at the video, and I just looked and tried to do the same as the video. They said, do it again, but this time, they say, like, do that move again, but this time do a back bridge. Because I could do back bridges, because when we used to train in martial arts, we used to do back bridge, neck roll, and, you know. So my brothers was like, they said, do it again, but this time do a back bridge when you finish the footwork. So I did the footwork and went on a back bridge, and they was like, oh, this is weird. Like, come here and do something, like lie on your back and let us spin you around. And they tried to spin me on my back, and because I was like the, what do you call it, the dummy. They used to throw me, they used to twist me around to do helicopter, and yeah, that's how they used to treat me. Because, you know, like in the martial arts, they used to use me as like the punching bag to train, you know. They used to say to me, stand in this stance and do this, and you know. So I was very much involved in them, you know, in the dance as well as myself.
Nice.
So when they saw me, they said, oh, you have to come to the club with us. We're going to take you to the club. So I told my mom, you know, that, you know, we're going to take, you know, take me to the club. And my mom was like, what are you taking her down there for? What? You know? so anyway, they took me to the club.
But they were allowed to bring you in when you were that young? Like, is there no age limit?
Yeah. Because at that time, it wasn't a nightclub. It was like a youth club, like a youth center.
Okay, I got you.
But they went to the nightclubs. I didn't, because I couldn't get in. They went to the clubs, but I couldn't get in. Right. So the youth clubs now, like a youth center, they took me to the youth center, and you know, everybody's saying, oh, is that your little sister? And yeah, I remember it so well. It's like, because I had a little skirt on, you know, I was just like a little girl with buttons in my hair, and, you know, if I had some pictures, I could show you, you know, but I haven't got, back then we didn't have the cameras,
of course.
We didn't have like cameras or anything, you know. So anyway, they took me down there. I remember I was wearing this like a greeny color skirt, a yellow t-shirt, I think it was, and some sandals. Like,
oh my God, sandals.
Yeah. And so when we went to the clubs, we see them all break dancing, and they was playing this music. And I'm thinking, what kind of music is this? It was some electro music. And it was just crazy, because everybody was in the corner break dancing, you know. Everybody was like, you know, there was like a circle. And
how many b-boys and b-girls are we talking about now at this time? Like, were you like, how many are you seeing?
At this time, I didn't see no b-girls, but there was about maybe 12 b-boys.
And they are like much older? Are they much older than you, or are they quite young?
Yeah, they were all older than me. Okay. Yeah, they was all older than me. Because at that center, I went to like the older kids center. You know, they were older than me, so I could go into the young ones and the older ones, because my brothers was there. So what happened now? So I went into the club. There was a circle, and I remember my brother came to me and he said, "Okay, sister, remember this. You do that footwork and you go into the back bridge, yeah." And I said, "Okay." So I went into the circle and I got down. And remember, I had my skirt on, my little sandals, and rats in my hair and all this. And I just went down and I just done a footwork. And I got up. And they all went crazy. They were jumping, because I didn't know what the big deal was, you know. So my brother said, no, this time you go down, do your footwork, and then you do the back bridge. I said, okay. So I went back in a circle, and everybody said, stay back. And you know, they just, again, went crazy when I'd done my footwork. And I just went into a back bridge, you know, and they just loved it. And from that day, the guys were saying, wow, is this your little sister? She's good. And, you know, she can dance good, and, you know, she can break dance well. And, you know, so they just latched onto me from then. I must have been, I think I must have been about maybe 11, 12 years old, as I guess. Something like that, yeah.
But at that age, like you don't really think of it as something that you would take seriously, right? At that age, it was more like having a good time, having fun, right?
Really, I didn't even want to go to the clubs. They dragged me down there. I didn't even want to go to the club, to be honest. Because I was a home girl. I like being at home, you know. I'd be at home with my grandma, you know, peeling potatoes or peeling food. Yeah, so really, I didn't want to go to the club at the time, but they said, oh, just come down and you're going to see more break dancers, you're going to see body poppers and people in robots. So I just went along with them, you know, and I didn't expect that to happen, you know. So from then, my brother said, you got to come to the next club with us. So I went to the next club, and from then it just happened again. People saying, is this your little sister? Yes, and, you know, she can do break dancing, do that move, footwork, back in the bridge, and that was it, really. I couldn't even do backspin back then. That came afterwards. That was all after, you know.
When did it start to get to the point where you feel like, you know what, I actually really enjoy this, so to the point where you want to further your skills and learn new moves and all that kind of stuff?
I think that was like shortly after Dolby D was on Good Morning Britain, yeah. Okay. And this is truth. This is a fact. This is truth. Even if I was to find my brother and you could ask my brother, they would tell you the same thing. When we saw Dolby D on Good Morning Britain, and he did a backspin, he was on there with Sidewalk, yeah. And I wish I had that video, because it's on YouTube somewhere, and they were dancing to Talking Heads, you know. And basically, Dolby D came out, did a backspin and freeze, yeah. That was the point where my brother said, this is it.
Oh, wow.
Break dancing is here. It's on TV. This guy's from London, and he's getting recognition, and this is it. It's our time. So you can say from then.
What year was this now? 82, 83 now? Are we talking about?
Probably about 83, 84. Nice. Maybe. Yeah, as a guess. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. But at that stage, this is when we realized that b-boying is definitely here. But it's here. It's in the media now. It's on TV, you know. Yeah.
And that's kind of what drove, like that video, seeing that on TV kind of drove you to learning, like, oh, let's try and do like this move now. Let's try and push a little bit harder now.
Yeah. Because, you know, back then we used to see a lot of Rocksteady's videos and you know, on TV, but many of them was just the pop video, Hey You, the Rocksteady Crew. Yeah. And that was repetitive. So we're seeing it all. We're seeing all that, you know. So we started to like look further and look at more breakdancing. So my brothers, they used to go from club to club and look, you know, see what was going on out there. See, I still wasn't going to the clubs, to the nightclub. Yeah. Because I wasn't old enough. I was too young. But with my brothers now, they actually whenever they went out, they used to tell me, oh, there's a crew from Manchester. Oh, wow. Broken Bliss. And they came back and tell me this story. There was this crew from Nottingham called Rock City Crew. And then there's a crew from Derby called Shades. Sheffield, you know, the Sheffield Smack 19. They was coming up with all these names. So we had to get a name for ourselves as the B-Boys, as the Wolverhampton B-Boys. Even though that wasn't our...
And is that how the Wolverhampton kind of like scene started to come together as like almost like a dance crew almost?
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, it took a while because we had like this sort of like a progress that we was going through. So from the robots then the body popping, the locking and all that. And then the b-boying came in. And so when it was like a growth in Wolverhampton, you know. So when people start to realize that there's a group of break dancers, a group of brothers and cousins or whatever, friends who we were, when people start to see us at the youth centers, I think we were making our names there in Wolverhampton as like the Wolverhampton B-boys, like the B-boys. Yeah. We didn't even know. It was my uncles that called us the B-boys. We didn't even know the dance was called B-boy. And I didn't even know that was the name, the B-boys, until like years later. I just thought it was something like a nickname, what the, you know, yeah, because it was my brother that told me that it was my uncles who came up with the name, the B-boys. Yeah, because it could be kind of like a Jamaican thing where anything begin would be like if we have an aunt and her name begins with a B, we call her Miss B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a nickname. Like a nickname.
Yeah. Sometimes you say one brother, you say one B. It could be that. It could be a part of a Jamaican thing. So my uncles used to call my brothers when they used to break dance in the backyard, B-boys. As in, yeah, they used to call them B-boys. That's what my uncles used to call them. I mean, they used to always jam outside in the back garden in the backyard, and my uncles, they have the sound system up in the garden, you know, playing music and all that, and people used to come around to the backyard and jam with us and dance with us. I mean, I wasn't doing so much dancing then.
Sick.
But that's where the name B-boys came from, and we didn't know that was the name of the culture of the dance, B-boying. We didn't know.
Like you thought it was just your family calling B-boys because of the...
Exactly, yeah, that's what we thought. And then that's why later on in 1986, we decided to call it the Wolverhampton B-boys.
That's where the name actually officially came from you guys. Let's go into this photo then. Let's have a look at this.
You could see my hair wasn't even... Yeah.
So who are some of these guys here with you in this photo?
So far left of the picture, you have the guy with the cap on, the baseball cap.
Yeah.
That's Smiley.
Nice.
Next to Smiley is Runity. Next one's Jam Master J.
Wow.
No, he ended up calling himself J, Master J.
Master J.
Because sometimes you hear these names and we use their names and we find out that somebody in America is already using these names. So he just called himself Master J. You know, his initials J. So that's J, and he inspired me a lot in the martial arts, and he took me around to do a lot of graffiti. This one, he's like the older, like he's like the big bro for me. He's the main one. He inspired me so much in martial arts and in b-boy, in everything, so much. And then it's myself, and then it's my brother. He was more for top rocks. This one,
nice.
He was a top rock. So with my top rocks, you see my top rock, it's him.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah. It's like Master J. You see his top work. You see like his footwork and everything. You see me, and then next to him is Lazy B.
Oh, Lazy B.
Yeah, and then you can't see Birdie, but Birdie's at the end of the row. So, yeah.
Is this all the kind of the Wolverhampton B-boys now? This is a lineup for you guys.
This is the first generation B-boys. This is the first generation. I think this was 1984.
Would you consider like these people here the first generation of UK B-boys or Wolverhampton B-boys?
UK B-boys. This is the first generation of UK B-boys.
Nice. What event was this? It looks like a very, very busy event. And what's going on in the background? Is it like a competition or? Yeah,
it was an event called Thriller in the Park. It was a big park event. It's very similar to Lincoln Center.
Oh, wow,
in the UK
nice.
That we had, yeah. And we was battling a group called Future Shock.
Okay.
And then it resulted that we had a battle with Future Shock on TV, on a children's program called Saturday Started. So with this one now, we was just doing a performance, and I think probably Birdie was out performing at the time in this picture. But the truth is that this is the first generation Wolverhampton B-boys, like the first generation of the B-boys from Wolverhampton. That wasn't our name. We were just called the B-boys.
The B-boys.
The B-boys.
Nice. What was it like for you? How did you feel about being a part of like kind of like a crew, a team, a movement? Like, because you mentioned that you were very much into like just staying at home, being with your grandma, but now you are like kind of part of something like a team, like a crew. Like, how does it make you feel as a young girl?
Well, at the time, I didn't really think about anything because you have to remember, I come from a family of just boys. You know, it's male orientated, my family.
Yes.
So I was only girl out of, say, 8 of us in total. So for me, it was nothing. It was nothing. You know, we go out to sound system ventures. We go out to, you know, it was nothing. It was just how it is. I mean, they were very protective over me to make sure, you know, I was safe and make sure I got home safe, and you know they were protective because I know my mother would have some serious words with them if I was not taken care of. In fact, my mother was there at this event.
Oh,
she
really?
was there because she brought us there in the car because it was a day where you know, you have to remember we were kids. I mean, there I was about 13 years old.
Yeah, you were still very young.
Very young, 13, 14 years old. And back then, if you think about it, none of us were driving. One of the older ones was driving, but he didn't have a car.
Okay.
So my mom drove a car, and I think the older ones caught the bus to the event or something like that. I can't remember it fully how we all got there, but I remember my mother drove the car and we was in the car.
Yeah. This is a nice photo. This is you doing a CC on the sidewalk.
That was maybe about 1986. That was when Birdie and Goldie came back from New York.
Sick.
And and Birdie had a goose, so that was Birdie's goose I was wearing. Yeah. And I think that was a day where, you know, I didn't really bother about wearing no Puma because we were sponsored by Puma, and it was a day where I just wanted to be free and wear what I wanted to wear that day. I remember that day so well.
Yeah. What about this one here? You are younger here, right?
Yeah, that's me and Birdie again. Yeah, that's about 19. That was when Bryn came over to the UK. So that's me and Birdie. A lot of the picture you see is me and my brother Birdie. That's my boy.
And you were much younger here?
I was about maybe about 15. Yeah, about 15. Because it all happened when I was like 15, 16 years old. That's when I started to hit the media, things like that, you know.
Nice. And you were mentioning that you also mentioned a little bit about graffiti, right? I mean, I see a piece here at the background. Did you already kind of experiment a little bit? Did you also paint?
Not at this time. After, yes, but not during this time of b-boying, because I was so involved with b-boying, I didn't bother with the painting at all. I didn't bother with the b-boying. It's more when b-boying started to die down in about 1987 that I started to look into DJing and graffiti. But I didn't so much I wasn't a writer, if that makes sense. I was hanging around with Master J.
And I was wondering, like, because you mentioned before about your family, you are the only girl, and like it was male orientated in your family, right? But of course, you also mentioned that in the scene, you know, you're widely regarded as the first UK Bgirl, and you also mentioned in Wolverhampton when you went to the club, there was no other Bgirls. So what was it like for you being the only female in this male-dominated culture at the time growing up? Like, was it challenging for you, or did you not really notice anything particularly different for you?
It's at its challenging times. I mean, like, for example, amongst my home, within my city and my circle of family and friends, it was not challenging, you know. They accepted it, and they understood the nature of the dance, the culture, where it came from, etc. Yeah. When I started to go to the clubs, this was the problem, because for number one, they used to say, like, you know, I'm not allowed to break dance because I'm a girl. I'm not allowed in the club. If I come in the club, I can't dance. Things like this. And my brothers, they used to put their foot down, at the, you know, with the doormen and the bouncers at the door and things like this. So they very much was very much, you know, I really give them credit because they stood up for me, you know, because they knew that they needed me around, you know, to dance and perform and to wow the crowd and all that, you know. So really and truly, for me, it was nothing. Other than when I used to go out, there was a little bit of barriers in some sexism. I experienced a lot of sexism in the crew, not with the B-boys, But when I used to travel to various locations, especially when you go to clubs, they used to say like girls can't dance on the stage, and I can't perform and things like that, you know.
Did that ever kind of knock you back in the sense where you feel like, oh man, this is
No,
so much hassle. I don't want to carry on anymore. Like, did that ever happen to you?
no, because we wasn't doing it for fame. We just danced. Because if we didn't dance in the club, we do it at home, and it was even more fun at home, you know. So really, there was no concerns on my part. I mean, like, if they didn't want me to dance in the club, fine, I'll go home and dance. No problem to me.
So
No
it
problem to me.
wasn't the club that was really attracting you. It was just the dance. Wherever you are, it doesn't really
Dance,
matter.
yeah, wherever we were. Because we wasn't doing it for fame, for recognition. We wasn't doing it for anything. We just enjoyed it. Because you have to remember, we were kids. We just enjoyed it. We were kids. You know, there was nothing else for us. Because you have to remember, this was very much a time where it was very racist in the UK. And there's very few clubs we wasn't allowed to go because we were black.
Ah.
You have to remember this. You're talking 1980s, early 80s.
Yeah.
So we had to put up with a lot, as well as, you know, the sexism for me. There was a racial barrier there as well. But many of the clubs that were racist, my brothers used to come home and say like, oh, we couldn't get in the club because the banks wouldn't allow us in, you know,
That's crazy.
If it wasn't because they're black, it's because they didn't want them in to dance, you know.
Because you mentioned that towards the late 80s, you feel like the breaking kind of died down. Like, so what happened during the period where, you know, breaking was on TV? You said you saw WD, it was on the morning TV show and all that kind of stuff. And then later on, you mentioned that it died down. Like, what was it that, to your understanding, how come breaking sort of died down towards the late 80s?
I think a lot of people got more involved in the graffiti scene than DJing. Yeah, I think a lot of people got more involved in graffiti. The music was not really inspiring people as such. A lot of people was getting into the house music scene. Okay. So really, there wasn't much for the b-boying culture at the time, for the b-boying. Yeah.
And what was it like for you guys to know that? Like, did you guys feel like, oh man, this is it, it's dying now, so we have to move on to something else? Or were you guys determined to keep going despite the fact that it seems to be dying down around you? Like, what was the mentality for you guys at that time?
Well, you see, like I said, you have to remember because of our age, yeah? So by the time we were 16, we left school, yeah? By the time we were 17, we were retiring from b-boying.
Oh, wow.
So I probably retired when I was about 17 years old. Yeah, and then when I was about 18, you know, you do little b-boy moves here and there, but you didn't do much at all because there was no one to compete with. Because at that age, everybody started doing their training, left school, finding work and jobs and what have you, and you know. So everybody was just moving on in their life. That's basically what it was. Okay, that was a performance we did to open up a shop called Woolworths. I think it was in. I can't remember which city it was. Because I think that's Birdie's piece. Birdie and Goldie did a piece there. Oh, okay. If I remember correctly, this day was a day where we were promoting electro rock.
Nice.
Was it electro rock? Yeah, we was doing a lot of promotion for electro rock, and we was doing some tours, and then you know we just took pictures by the murals when we finished pictures. There's not much really about that day other than that we were just doing some promotional work for electro rock, and we were touring around.
So this was the time when you guys were getting, I mean, fame in a way, in terms of people are like booking you guys, asking you guys to perform and doing like photo shoots and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like there's quite a lot of opportunities for us in terms of b-boying. The only old back was that we were kids, we was in school. You have to remember, I think people tend to forget that we were children in school. Yeah. Because my mother had to write the school a letter one day to give us permission to come out to school, to do a photo shoot, to do a performance on TV, you know. So I think people forget that we were children. We were minors. We were minors. That's the thing, you know. And as you know, in the UK, you know, if you're a minor, you're under 16, and you know that's it. So there was still a lot of rules and regulations that we had to abide by, and you know. Because I remember this day, you know, again, we had to get permission to come out of school, you know, to do look a tour for Electro Rock. Because Electro Rock was really the only thing that we really toured for. You know, yeah, to promote the video.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of the videos you sent me. So,
right.
here's the first video that you sent me. I think is a performance, if I'm correct. Is that a performance?
Yeah, it's a performance, yes.
Okay, so let's play it, and then you can talk about it. Maybe it's only a 1 minute video.
Oh, okay.
Is this you?
Right, that's me coming out. Yeah, that's me.
Damn.
And doing my windmills, yeah. This was live on TV, on a children's program on TV. And
is this Wolverhampton B-Boys?
Yes, this is the Wolverhampton B-Boys. Yes. Yeah.
This is the TV show.
Yes, it is. It's a morning show for children. It's
nice.
It's called Saturday Superstore. It was on the BBC, and it was a live performance. And this was a performance to win a copy of Electro Rock on VHS video.
How old were you? How old were you then?
I think I was 15, 16.
Nice.
15, around 15, 16. Yeah. I was rocking some windmills back then. Even when sometimes when I look at these windmills that I used to do, I think, wow, you know. And that's Birdie. That's Birdie just there. That's just come out.
Oh.
Yeah. You see at the end here, because what happened, we didn't get to run it through before we shoot for the live show, you know.
Yeah.
So the camera angle wasn't right here. It's supposed to be right in front of us at the point near the end. And what happened, it was for Electro Rock, yeah, to win a copy. So at the end, Birdie had to do like some halos. I don't know if you saw that part where Birdie did his halos.
Yeah.
And somebody had to write in and give the name of the move that Birdie's done.
Oh, really?
And yeah. And from what I was informed is that the person who won is from Germany.
Oh, wow.
Somebody from Germany actually won. Yeah, won the video.
What year was this roughly?
That was 1986.
Ah, and would you say that was your peak? Would you say that was your peak time for you?
Yeah, I would say that's my peak time. Yeah.
Because you mentioned here about the Future Shock battle. I think this is the battle that.
Yeah, that's the same one with the first generation B-Boys. This one's the first generation B-Boys. And
the ones that you mentioned, that was in the photo before, right?
Yeah, that's the same day. It's the same event. Right, this is it. Yeah, and that's me here.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing an exhibition battle at the time, or was it an actual judge battle?
It was an exhibition battle. I mean, we didn't even expect a battle. I mean, this one was a performance, what you can see now. That's a show, that's a performance.
Oh, you guys are performing right now?
This is our performance here, yeah. But now we're doing the top rocking and everything.
Well, you're the one in the white, you were in the white tracksuit, right?
Right, I'm in a white t-shirt and sky blue shorts, yeah.
This one is you in the middle.
Yeah, so that's me in the middle. So the B-Boy, I forgot about this video. You've done some research here, right?
Yeah, man, I've been digging, man.
Yeah, so this is the first generation. There's 8 members here, and we were doing like a showcase battle. We didn't expect the battle. We was told we were just going to perform and go home. And then later on, we was told that's me coming out here now with Rooney to do our little routine.
Sick.
Yeah.
Where was Future Shock from?
They were from Coventry.
Ah, okay. But did you know them already, or were they someone that you never met before?
No, we never met them. We didn't know them at all. We never met them. It's the first time we saw them at this event here. Yeah. And they were a lot older than us. You know, they were more mature, more older than us. I'm just looking at this performance here because this is the ideas we get from like Beach Street at the time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Oh, so this is the battle. This is the battle now where they said that we're going to battle these guys. And then we thought, let's just off-rock them, you know, Smiley, you know, Master J.
So you guys are like facing off with the other crew now. Like the other crew's on the other side now, right?
Yeah, they're on the other side now. Yeah.
Would you
So
say a
so
lot of your
this is
UK
Smiley
people?
now.
Oh, this is like a Can Swift inspiration there. I can see.
Yeah. So this is what is it now? So Smiley, this is Smiley now that's just come out. He
That was
was
crazy. That head bridge
He was
was
just a warrior.
crazy.
We called him like the action man because he used to just fly all over the place. But you know, yeah. So I think this one's Birdie now, just come out.
Damn.
Yeah, so this one's Birdie now. Is that
And
one Birdie?
is that the other crew now?
So, yeah, and this is the other crew now. So with Future Shock now, like I said, we didn't expect them. We didn't know them. We never seen them before. And we done our performance, and then we heard the man on the mic just say, "You guys are gonna have to battle all this crew." And we thought, okay, whatever. We just do whatever you want, you know. So that was it. I mean, like we wasn't, you know, we just wanted to dance. That's the thing. We wasn't fussed about who we battled.
That was
Who,
crazy.
yeah. So that's Birdie now, just staying up. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people used to fear us because, and this is the truth, because back then, we used to do so much martial arts in our movements and everything. And Smiley used to do windmills with these machetes, you know?
What the hell?
Yeah, things like that. So back then, you know, he would have his machetes to do windmill. This is like probably, you know, a few months before this, or so we were just Tegaret. We was just raw, we were just raw.
You
We
mentioned
had
about the Beat Street influence. Like, how much was the American, like material an influence to you guys growing up in the UK? Like Beat Street,
big
Buffalo
influence,
Girls, Rocksteady Crew, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, the big influence, because these were the mothers and the fathers of the dance, those in America, so we always looked up to them. When you see me do my my 6-step into a backspin or my 6-step into windmill, you see Crazy Legs. You could put Crazy Legs next to me doing the 6-step, and you could see that it's very much mirrored to what I do, because I learned from Crazy Legs, like the 6-step and the backspin. So when it came to things like my windmill and all this is like powerful pec star, action. So we looked we looked at the Americans so much for inspiration, but there was a time where everything and anything we do, we just mirrored what they did in the Europe, from Rocksteady, New York City Breakers. That's all the only 2 main crews we used to look out for. And then we heard about Dynamic Rockers. Then we used to follow a lot of their footages and clips. So yeah.
Did that include like some of even the fashion sense, in a way, how you guys dressed? Was it also inspired by watching?
Yeah. It was inspired by them, but you have to remember, we were sponsored by Puma, and we were sponsored by so many sports companies that we wouldn't allow.
How did that sponsorship come about? Because Puma at that time was really big in terms of a lot of the breaking, movies back then was Puma, right? How did that come about, the sponsorship with Puma?
Right. So we had some TV shows lined up, and we needed some more tracksuits to wear. So a youth worker who we did work with, by the name of Martin Jones, he wrote to Puma and asked if they could help with some sponsorship, and they said yes.
Sick. And that's why you were always decked out in full Puma tracksuit and
full Puma, in Puma. And so our first main sponsors was Kappa, because you see that in Electro Rock.
I think this is it. This is the clip that is you guys at Electro Rock.
I just see that you have it here already. So for Electro Rock, I think I was 15.
Was this in Nottingham?
No, that was in London Hippodrome. That was London Hippodrome. So we had our audition for this music video.
Oh, your routines are crazy.
Yeah, well, sadly they took out so much, because there was so much that we put in this.
Is this you?
This one's me.
Nice.
This is me. For the routine, like I could have done more than that, but Beavers were saying, let's keep it short. Yeah, just do your windmill, a few windmills, backspin, freeze, and that's it. So we all had to like routinely structure what we're doing, you know. So like here, I was going to do a head spin, but they cut it there, you know. So I did my head spin there, yeah.
Were you nervous at all as a kid or not really?
Yeah, I'm nervous at first because you have to remember it's not what I wanted to do. It was just up and down. I didn't want to do it at all, you know. So this is me and Birdie. A lot of the routines with me and Birdie is what we always used to do at home and practice at home and, you know, things like that.
Birdie's one of your older brother, right?
Yeah. Well, he's he behaves like he's older than me, but he's younger.
He's younger than you.
Yeah.
Wow.
But people think he's the older one, but you know, no, he's younger. See, like with this routine now. So when we do this routine, I would run. Somebody else would come out to find me, and then I would jump on the head of a freestyle. Then he would do the helicopter, like the propeller, when he's spinning on his head. Yeah, but
did you pick up power moves easily? Because you know, obviously, seeing your windmill, your backspin, your head spin, all that is like on point. Like, did that take you a long time to learn, or were you quite a natural when it comes to learning those kind of moves?
I think I was very much a natural. It didn't take that long. I think no, it didn't take that long, to be honest with you. By 1983, I was rocking my windmills. You know, like you see this movie Birdie does, where he flips up and lands on his back. You know.
Yeah.
He used to do that, flip up and go straight back into windmill.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's just that we don't have the clip on it, you know. He used to do all kind of things, like they call it the pop-up move.
It was almost like a suicide, right? Almost like a windmill suicide.
Yeah. But Birdie, instead of landing on his back, he used to land back into a windmill.
Oh my God!
Seriously, back then,
and
Birdie
it would keep going.
wild.
It would keep going.
Yeah,
that's crazy. No one is even doing that now.
And well, this is it. So we were very much ahead of our time, to be honest with you. So,
is this a TV show again? Is a TV show also?
Yeah, this is a TV show called Freeze Frame, and
you were rocking a skirt.
Yeah, Puma at the time, Martina Nativilova, she was doing Wimbledon, and so Puma gave us some tracksuits to wear for this TV show. Because
and one of the crewmates is doing a piece at the back as well, live?
Yeah, that was Goldie. That was Goldie. Yeah. But you see, like with this show, so I had to wear miniskirt to promote Wimbledon because it was the Wimbledon finals.
Oh,
and
right.
So Puma launched these new tracksuits and the tennis skirt and the outfit. So this tennis skirt and the T-shirt, you would have saw it later, was what I had to wear for to promote for Wimbledon. So there's other footage you would see of me with the T-shirt on, not on YouTube. I don't know what's, you know, somebody broke in my house years ago at this time, and stole all our videos, stole our trophies, stole my tracksuits, just stole everything of mine. You know, me and Birdie, we lost so many things. They just come and steal everything out of our home. You know, yeah.
You guys are much older here, right?
No, we're 16. I was 16 by then. Birdie, that's freestyle now. Freestyle must have been about 17.
Crazy, man. You guys are definitely ahead of the time at the time.
Yeah, and this is my cousin here.
Whew.
Oh, no, that's not. No, that's Kiddo. Kiddo does that pop-up move. That's, you know, he's just, you know, this should have been a routine because this was to promote electro rock.
Okay.
And at the end of this show, you see the woman come out with a video of electro rock and telling you if you want a copy. No, she said it at the beginning. At first, there's a new video out. This one that's my cousin Lewinsky. This is Birdie. Birdie's halos are just fire.
Wow,
you know,
what the hell?
Halos.
So crazy.
These halos are just mad, you know. You see, if you look at that footwork and my head spin, this is crazy legs.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. This
the
is where I'm
straight up.
But my windmill is more powerful, Pexter. That's
That
where I
is
got my
crazy. In
windmill.
terms of like, because we were mentioning how you guys were like ahead of the time in some of the movement that you were doing. Like, when did you first realize that there were so many other crews around the country that kind of were doing similar things, or maybe better than you guys, maybe not as good as you guys? Like, when did you really come to contact with all the other crews from around the country?
The only time we really came into contact with most of them is when we had like competitions or jams, things like this. I mean, like for example, hip hop at the Hippodrome, as they call it, for electro rock. That was the first time we met with all crews in one place. You know, back in 1985. You know, so that was the first we saw anybody like, you know, crews, because there you had all the top main crews, because a lot of the crews didn't make it through the auditions, you know, for electro rock. Yeah, but you know, and some of them who made it through didn't sign a contract with James Street. James Street was like the promoter for electro rock. So so missing from electro rock, you had Supreme Rockers. You know, they didn't sign a contract, and they were a solid crew. They were tough. They were really good. They were powerful, man. Supreme Rockers. And at the end of electro rock as well, you see like the battle with London versus everybody. London wants to battle every single city and town in the UK. So that was the end of electro rock, right at the end.
Was it intimidating for you to like as your, you know, you and your crew, like seeing all these other crews from London, Manchester, Sheffield, Derby, all these other places? Like, what was it like for you guys to really experience that live? And was there any like beef or rivalry that you guys had with anybody?
I mean, there were rivalry to a certain extent, but this is for the dance, you know. It wasn't a war. I mean, like if you go into like my Instagram, you see a picture with all of us, you know, with me in the front. There was Lift to Break, Wolverhampton B-Boys, London All Stars, Cookie Crew, and some other guy in the picture, you know. And it was just unifying. In the ciphers, we were like enemies, but after that, we will go to each of our houses and sleep, and we go to each of the houses and, you know, chill out, and you know, back then. So it wasn't like a beef, like to the true nature of the word beef. It wasn't like that, no.
I mean, like you mentioned
really,
also.
but
No, carry on.
no, I was gonna say really back then. A lot of the crews from up north, like from Manchester, Wolverhampton, Nottingham, Derby, you know, Sheffield, we were all close. It's just the London side now, we wasn't so close.
Okay.
I think the only ones we were close to was Lift to Break, you know, Perverse, Hallett, Airborne, you know, Dark, you know, we was close to those sides, yeah. Cookie Crew, but you know, they were like MCs. But in terms of the b-boying, you know, we were all close. Those of north, yeah, Birmingham b-boys, you know, all the other b-boys in other cities, we were all close. Even Future Shock, we was close to them.
Oh, okay. Do you guys used to travel to practice together, or did they ever come to Wolverhampton to practice with you guys? Like, what was practice like back then?
Practice, we just practiced at the youth club where we live, just local youth club, and that's all we did. Or practice at home. Everything started at home. Yeah.
Did you ever like travel together as a crew to meet other crews to exchange or to practice with them, or travel abroad? Like, did you ever travel abroad together?
No, we never traveled abroad. As a crew, we never traveled abroad. Everything we did was in the UK.
Okay.
I mean, like, we used to go to Nottingham regular to spend time with Rock City crew.
Yes.
And because Rock City, they were older than us. They were like 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, you know, they was all more mature, you know. So, you know, they used to look out for us as younger b-boys, because like I said to you before, we were young, we were kids, you know. So when we used to travel to other cities, the main city was just Nottingham, because Nottingham had a club up there called Rock City Club.
Yes.
And we used to go there regular to just chill out on weekends, you know. Yeah.
How often were jams happening or competition happening at this time period? Were there a lot of jams going on, events or competitions?
A lot of jams, yeah, because the dance was so new and it was like a new culture. So there was a lot of jams, competitions. Yeah, there was a few competitions around, but you know, to tell you the truth, we didn't enter much competitions because we were so busy touring around the UK promoting electro rock. So we didn't really enter much competitions, mainly performances we did, and that's it.
Because you mentioned even for you, like around 17, 18 was kind of your retirement age, right? So like, yeah. So what were you into something else when did you stop breaking completely, or were you just less into it and you were branching out into other aspects? Like what was going on when you were 17, 18 at that time?
At the time, got into music and doing some DJing, MCing, things like that. And I got back involved in my martial arts,
Nice.
you know. Yeah. Thai boxing. I was a Muay Thai Thai boxer. Well, I just trained for the sake of it, you know. Yeah, I used to train. Like I'm a percussionist, so I used to do a lot of drumming and African arts. So really, I went back into African arts as well. So that was
so it was all like a natural thing. It wasn't like, okay, I decided to stop breaking. It was more like, because the scene kind of died down as well, you naturally went back to the African kind of stuff.
Because my aunt was into African arts, and she used to call me to say, we need a drummer. Can you come and drum for us? Or you know,
nice.
We need a spare dancer. You know, come and perform with us. And so I used to just go on tours and jump in the minibus. Because that's one of the sweetest things, really, when you're on tour with a crew and or a group, and you go on stage and you get the thrill and you finish, you please the crowd and you come home and you feel good. You know.
But were you still kind of active in terms of you still were aware of what's going on in the scene, or were you completely like taking yourself out of the breaking scene completely? Like were you still kind of involved with the scene?
I wasn't so much involved in the scene because there was nothing else for me to do. You know, I wasn't in workshops with anybody. I wasn't doing much. I mean, like I had my younger cousins who was growing up now doing the b-boying, you know, like chaotic b-boy, you know, whole b-boy chaotic, that's his name. It's a family thing. I call him the chaotic b-boy, you know. So b-boy chaotic, he carried on like the torch for the b-boying in the family. I had some cousins whose brothers were b-boys. So I used to just enjoy going out to see them and just watching them dance, and that's it really. Because by then, I was so involved in African arts and drumming and things like that. So I didn't really get so much involved, you know. Yeah, because I felt as though I've done it and that's it, moved on, found something new into martial arts, African arts, and that's it. So I had a new love. So that was it really.
Because of course, like in the mid 90s, I guess 95, 96 was when like the UK B-boy champs came about, and then the BOTY started happening. So what was it like for you, like at that time when you found out that, oh wow, breaking is still around, they become this worldwide competition?
You know, somebody emailed me. Yeah, you know, somebody emailed me and told me that they're doing b-boy championships and all this, and I said, what? I didn't know what it was. I didn't understand it. So a friend like who goes to these championships, you know, used to go and buy the videos and things like this, and used to come back to our home, and me and Bird would sit down and watch it and just be amused. You know, we used to love it. We used to love it. Yeah, because you know we didn't have that kind of b-boying in our days when it comes to championships and competitions.
Yeah.
Because back then the judges was the crowd.
Yes.
Whosoever the crowd cheered for louder, they are the winners. And there was a time when we went to London and there was a competition in London, and we were the better crew. But the crowd in the audience cheered louder for London. Londoners won.
Yeah.
So I remember this was the first generation b-boy. So I remember then they were saying to me that they're finished with competitions now because there's no point, you know. And you know, it was a time to say like you know that you know, competitions is not about being the best anymore. It's how you are in the cypher, in the jams, in the, you know, in the one-to-one ciphers, you know, battling and, you know. So from there, you could say B-boys in Wolverhampton, we didn't bother much with competitions. We did one or two because we was asked if we wanted to enter, so we entered. But it got to a stage where if the crowd's going to be the judge, we just leave it, you know.
So when you start watching all this like crazy worldwide competition coming back in the mid-90s and 2000, were you guys watching it more from a spectator point of view now, rather than the urge to like, you know what, yo, let's go back and try and compete? Like, was there any urge for you guys?
By then, you know, I didn't really have much, you know, energy or time to do anything other than sit and watch. I remember me and Birdie was like saying to ourselves, you know, maybe we should start up a new crew in Wolverhampton, get, you know, B-boy chaotic for them, you know, because we had some good B-boys here, some strong, powerful B-boys and B-girls, some powerful ones. This is before B-girl terror was born. We had some powerful B-girls here in Wolverhampton, and they all used to look up to me. They used to tell me, they used to send me invites to come and watch them perform and watch them rehearse, and I used to go down and watch them, and you know, I used to think, what? Seriously, we had some powerful B-girls here in Wolverhampton, even to the point that one of them, if she had continued, I'll be honest with you, she would be I don't know, because she was doing windmills. She was about 7 years old, 8 years old, and she just, I think what happened, she just got into she found a new love in sports and all this. So, but she was one of the best. Her name was India. I know I can say her name, because her parents wouldn't mind. Her name was India. Powerful.
That's a good point, because you know, you mentioned Tara, and also you know, I spoke to you earlier before the interview about, you know, how you were obviously widely regarded as UK's first B-girl. This title, like unofficially, right? So how did you feel about that when people, I mean, widely regard you as that? Like, how does that sit with you? The term, the UK's first B-girl?
When I first heard that I was the first UK B-girl, that was when Martha Cooper came to UK. This is 2005. I mean, I didn't know about no UK's first B-girl. But this is the title that they gave me. I mean, they gave me the title as the UK's first B-girl and the mother of the B-girl. Queen, because obviously my double barrel name is my queen Hudson, the Queen. So I didn't really question it at all, because if this is how people view me, that's fine. But I don't know if I was the first UK B-girl. It's going to be difficult to say if I was the first UK's B-girl. Of course, it's going to be difficult, because who knows? But I can say that I was the first B-girl to be at the jams, to do, you know, battles, performance on the level I was doing it, to hit the media and B-boy on that level I was doing it at. So I can say, yes, I was the first one to hit the media on the level I was at, at my age at that time, back in the 1980s. But to say if I was the first, I don't know. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Well, I can appreciate that I was the first generation B-girl, definitely, for the UK. And there's a difference there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how was it for you to see, like, after, you know, let's say you started off the whole B-girl movement, and then now you can see more and more B-girl coming after you and all that. What was it like for you to see the other B-girls coming through, like when you first...
Listen, man, let me tell you something. I love it, because to know that I brought down some of those barriers, because there was a time where, okay, here's one now, here's one. I remember when we was on the catwalk for Puma. We was doing a fashion thing for Puma. And Puma didn't want me to wear the tennis skirts. They wanted me to wear a tracksuit. And then the designer of the tracksuits, you know, there was a bit of a debate going on, you know. And they said to me that, you know, can you not just dress up like a boy? Yeah, just dress like one of the boys. take off the miniskirt, because this is for the catwalk for the Puma
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
Puma fashion show. So so I had to go and get changed and just put my tracksuit on and dress like one of the b-boys for the show. Yeah. And at that point, I realized how much work I have put into b-boying and the b-girl culture.
Yeah.
Because from then I had to change and make a statement that I am somebody different. So that's when you see me coming out with the tennis skirts to b-boy in. Puma gave Birdie the skirt and told Birdie to tell me to wear the tennis skirt. Because I couldn't go to the warehouse at the time. I think I was in school, I had exams or something like that. So Birdie went down to the Puma warehouse, and he came back. He said, "Oh, we got these tennis skirt. This is the first for Wimbledon. You know, it's going to be launched for." So I wore that skirt for Puma. I was told to. Yeah. If I had a choice, I probably would have worn something different. Because underneath was the Puma shorts. They looked like ladies' knickers or really shorts. Because back then, those are the shorts we wear.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, you know, I didn't mind wearing it. But if I had a choice, I don't think I would have worn that tennis skirt and done a windmill. Because it wasn't something for me. You know, it wasn't something for me.
Yeah.
But after now, when I look back, I realized I brought the barriers down for a lot of b-girls. Because there was a lot of sexism at the time in the 80s. You know, and it was very uncomfortable for me sometimes.
I was about to say that, because looking back at it, maybe at that time you didn't want to wear like that. But I think it symbolizes a lot, something more powerful than just the clothes you were wearing. You were breaking down barriers, like you said, that girls is also part of this culture. You can be feminine, you can do your thing. Like, so I think looking back at it, it was quite powerful to see that outfit.
Yeah. I mean, when this was a time of Wimbledon, maybe if Wimbledon wasn't going to happen, the finals of Wimbledon, maybe I wouldn't want it, you know. So there's times where you have to reflect back and look at the reasons why you wore it and how controlled we were at the time. I mean, check it. I was only 15.
Yeah.
if you see the point I'm making.
Yeah. You were very young. You were very young.
Young and naive.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was the woman I am today, I would have said, listen, I'm not wearing no tennis skirt, you know. Yeah. I don't care if I don't care if you sponsor me. Give me something else to wear that makes me stand out. So, you know, I'm not wearing no mini skirts. Yeah.
you mentioned like young b-girls like Tara. You know, I remember her coming into the scene and really blowing people away. But do you remember, like, you must have a lot of b-girls later on that comes to you and tell you how much of an inspiration you were to them to you know, to pursue breaking as a girl and as a female. Like, how does that make you feel as somebody who has been there before, and to see all these young ones coming to you now and saying that you were inspiring them to do all this stuff?
I feel honored. Because not many people knew this. There's times where I felt tearful, where I had a performance I don't want to perform, you know, and, you know, I would cry, you know what I mean? Because I don't fancy doing it, I'm tired, I just want to go to sleep, I want to go to bed, you know, don't fancy getting up 8 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes we have to get like 6 o'clock in the morning, in fact, to go to where we have to go. So I feel honored when they come up to me and tell me these things. You know, sometimes I share stories with them that there was a time where I wasn't allowed to break dance in certain locations, and you know, I would tell them that there was a lot of sexism at the time, you know, but my brothers, they put my foot down. They put their foot down and defended me, you know, as well as the racism. There was an element of racism there as well, you know. The racism wasn't within the scene, it was outside. Going to a club, or, you know, having to go through an area to get to a club, you know, that's where the racism was coming. Not in the scene, not in the culture, you know.
I actually remember Break Mission 2013 when I had the honor of judging alongside yourself and Evo. And I
Yeah.
remember at the end of that jam, you had a little moment where you spoke on the mic and you were saying about being a female, being a mother. Like that was a very
Yeah.
powerful message, I think, to a lot of B-girls that was there that day. It was something that I feel like
Mm.
the B-girls needed to hear, to know that it is okay to go through the changes that females had to go through and
Mm-hmm.
still pursue in the culture. And I felt like that was
Yeah.
something that you really like helped like open the mind of so many females at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as females, we have a lot of emotions that carried us, whether through hormonal changes or, you know, whether through a growth in maturity, you know. So I felt a lot of change in my body as well, you know. And as a B-girl back in the 80s, I had no one to help structure me, to help, you know, guide me through the changes, because there was times where, you know, I was on my cycles and, you know, you get the period cramps and things like this, and still had to go and rehearse, and or, you know, because we had a show, you know, there was no females that was there to guide me and support me other than my mother, you know. So the big girls today, sometimes I see them talk about things like this, about being mothers, about, you know, the cycle of life, you know, losing someone close to them and the emotions of, you know, I see so many discussion groups with these females. And I say, you know, they are very fortunate that they have fellow B girls who they can talk to, because I didn't have any. I didn't have none at all. I mean, there was times where, without being too personal, when I was on my cycles, and you know, I didn't want to break dance or do anything. I just wanted to rest. Yet still had a performance to do, you know. And you know, you find yourself in a position where you almost have to go ahead, because you sign a contract to perform, you're getting paid for it, and you know, you'd rather go out and dance and take 2 paracetamol to, you know, to take away the pain and perform. You know, there's so many things I can share with these B girls, and I'm sure they would agree and know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's woman's nature. It's what we have to go through. And then comes the perimenopausal. We go through the menopausal, the change in life, and you know, we go through a lot of changes when our hips start to be producing our hips, our breasts, because our breast is tender when we're growing. You know, there's so many things that that is a challenge in terms of b-boying. You know, doing windmills and having, you know, your female, you know, your bosoms and all this. You know, there's so many things that the B girls today are so fortunate that they have more B girls to talk to and share these things, whereas I didn't have all that. And I come from a predominantly male, you know, environment. I didn't have none of that. Yeah. So there's so many times. There's a time when I was going to do like weekly talks to B girls. There's like myself and like ACWR, Rockefeller, Honey Rockwell. You know, we was going to have like weekly talks on Instagram about females and who we are today, being the mothers, and you know, having these changes and looking at the experience in our life and where we are today, and you know, sharing with B girls what they have to come. You know, they have to really face the reality that there's going to be times where they're going to have hormonal changes in life. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to. I mean, that was really powerful what you share about, you know, the female struggles had to face, and I feel like being there on that day when you gave that speech was, I think it touched a lot of B girls. I remember you guys had a big group photo with all the ladies in the jam.
Oh yeah, we did, yeah.
There was like B-girls from like Finland, from the UK, from France. There was a lot of females at that time because it was a Valentine's Day special Bonnie and Clyde event. So,
yeah, I remember that day. Yeah, I remember that picture. I don't know if I still have one, but
yeah, I'll find it somewhere. I think that was a really wonderful moment, because I think at that time, I'm not sure if you haven't been in the scene for a while, and I remember like feeling really honored that you came through and you came to the event. Like, I wanted to ask you, because you know, you stepped away from the scene, like you said. What was it like for you to come back to an event, seeing all these ladies and b-boys in action?
Wow.
Like, what was it like for you?
Man, it was so inspiring, because it made me feel like getting down. Because I've never had to jam with a B girl in battle.
I thought at one point you were gonna get down, because you were looking really.
I think I did get down at one stage, and because sometimes the music, the beat can make you want to just go down, and So I remember, seeing some B-girls and seeing the freezes, because back then, in my days, you didn't have the kind of freezes that people are doing now, mixed with the whatever and all this, So I used to just love it. I love seeing them get down. I love seeing their stamina, their inspiration. I love seeing their passion. I love seeing it all. Seriously, I really love it. What I love seeing them battle. I love seeing people throw down and battle. Yeah. I love seeing them competing against the guys. I just love it all. Everything. Everything.
Did you ever do like classes or workshops when you were like a little bit older, when you had a little bit more time? Did you ever get into the teaching side of it?
Yeah, we've done some. I've done quite a few workshops and teaching. Nice. Some of the younger generation. This is going back in the 80s, though. Yeah. So we did some workshops, and we done quite a few classes, like verbally, teach people and talk, rather than the practical side. Yeah, so we have done quite a few of these things, yeah.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more about some of the projects you are currently doing. So you mentioned before briefly about some sort of online platform where yourself, ACWR, Rockefeller, and some of these other female pioneers were doing something. You were planning to do something regular. Can you tell me a little bit more about that project?
Yeah, because because I have a lot of respect for these big girls, especially the ones I just named, Rockefeller, ACWR, Honey Rockwell, those are the main three B girls who I hold in high esteem for holding down the culture, keeping it real. And, I invited ACWR over to the UK quite some years back as a judge.
Nice.
So if I could bring them all over again, I would bring all of them to the UK if I can. But one of the things that we realize in life, that our body slows down, and I was talking to Honey Rockwell, and she was sharing with me her experience that she cannot throw down as much as she did when she was a younger girl. And same with me, and we find ourselves, sometimes I'm being compromised by my health, like my knees. I've got bad knees now, my knee problems. So, we was talking about the changes in life, like being like premenopausal, having all these kind of hot flushes and all this as women, because the young, I never thought about going through a menopause or anything like that. I'm sure you've never done an interview and spoke to somebody about menopause.
No, but I'm interested to find out, because it is something that needs to have awareness of, you know what I'm saying? Like, for sure.
Exactly. So I was saying today, it'd be good to talk about these girls, talk about motherhood, about being mothers, about going through the changes, about going through the perimenopausal stage, and, about, being a full-time mother and having a career, and, just to share with these young B girls coming up. My key thing for these B girls is to, get a career first before you want to go around touring, and that's me, because I didn't get a career until I was in my 30s, early 30s. I started to study. I went to university and all that because I was too involved with dancing. I thought dancing was going to be my life. I thought dancing was going to be my future, my culture, my retirement, everything. But things change in life. It just wasn't so. So we were thinking maybe we could do some talks with some of these young girls, let them know about the future, the reality of life.
Nice.
About growing up, about growth, about careers, about, living life and enjoying your early youth before you get older, and, because
And
you know I should.
how regular are you? How regular is this chat thing gonna be? Is it gonna be like an online series, or what are you guys planning?
Yeah, we were thinking of doing online, and I was going to start launching, but I have a change of job. I have a change of job that's making it difficult for me to do these things, and sometimes as well the time difference with us in the UK and the US is also an issue. But to add to that, I have been seeing some of the other Bgirls who are now newly young mothers, you know, doing these talks, which is good.
Yeah.
You know, but as mothers of the dance, we thought like it'd be good if we can share with them.
For sure.
About life, what we're going through and what we see, how we see the future, and what was like back then, you know, sharing with them about life. Because the thing is with b-boying, with this culture of the dance, it's either you turn into an entrepreneur or you don't. Yeah. Yeah. For me, it wasn't the case. Because I just wanted to dance. I wasn't looking at it as a business or anything like that. I mean, it was 2005. I heard that your career is a B-girl. I said, how can you have a career as a B-girl? A profession, a B-girl? I've never heard of that in my life. That's unheard of. I could never turn to my mother and say my career for my profession is a B-girl. I don't understand it still to this day, you know? Yeah. So for me, you know, talking to these up and coming B-girls, you know, it's very important because, like I said, I didn't have no one to talk with for me. I didn't have no one to share anything with me. I didn't have that, you know. And maybe that could be one of the reasons why I left my career so late. Too busy touring with crews and groups and all this. Because after the B-boy, I was in the African arts group, and you know, we just all around doing all kind of things for ourselves. Do you mind sharing with us your career? You said you started in the 30s. Like what is your career? What your profession? I was trained as a nurse.
Okay.
Mental health nurse.
Nice.
But now I'm a veteran practitioner. I work for the Veterans High Intensity Unit, which deals with veterans who are suffering from you know, any mental health issues or any social issues or anything like that. So that's my career.
I know you are also an artist as well. Like you have a special kind of painting concept that you do. So I'm just gonna like try and share the video you sent me about, I think it was about one of the exhibition that you did recently, I think. And I wanted to see what you can tell the people, the audience, a little bit about the project that you do. And I think this is the video. Let me just
see which video. I think I probably sent you.
I think it's the one from your exhibition recap. This one.
The recent one, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that now. Yeah. So my artwork is vital art. It's vital. VAITU is vital art. That's the name of the project. The name of the concept is Artbreaker. Yeah.
Nice.
And basically, what I do, I use my skill of b-boying that I have left in me to create my artwork. Yeah. So, for example, for this exhibition, it was called Social Death. And social death is a terminology that you use to describe a group of people who are treated as though they don't exist. Or it's to describe a group of people who has been treated as though they are dead, as though they're nobody, as though they don't exist at all, you know? Yeah, that's what social death is. And a perfect example of this is people like where I'm coming from, the Windrush generation. I don't know if you heard of the Windrush.
Yeah.
Example of how we've been treated. That's social death, you know. So with my artwork now, I try to use my work to give a description and share with the community, because art is political, so you could use art for anything. So yeah, so I use my artwork in incorporating it with dance to explain to people about the movement, about concepts, about history, you know, everything that you could think of. You know, it's all, you know, it's all one concept, everything just thrown in one. This is what Artbreak is all about. Because Artbreak, I put in 3 elements. You got b-boys and b-boy art and Artbreaker, you know. So if you go into my website, you see the free concepts and get some more understanding on the free concepts. But this is what my exhibition was all about, launching my work. I mean, like, it wasn't just my work, it's about launching, you know, a new collection of my artwork. That's what it was.
So your website is what we see on the screen now, hanifaqueen.com?
Yeah, hanifaqueen.com. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the art breaker, all the art is you created, you said you created by, you know, breaking. Like, how do you do that exactly? Like, do you, like, how do you actually do it? Like physically, like, do you put paint on the shoe, or like what's going on?
Right, so basically what I do, I work in layers. So I put one layer of paint on the canvas or on the board, and then I'll b-boy on top of that. Sick. And then I will put like paint in like a bowl or a pot, like, and put my feet in the paint with my trainers on, or sneakers, whatever you call them, and then b-boy on that.
Wow.
So most of my moves is based on top rocks and 6 steps, and that's basically it, really. Yeah. So the concept is all about b-boying, keeping the same dance, keeping the same style, doing it in paint, and then break dancing or dancing on the canvas or on the board.
Sick.
Yeah.
And are you selling this artwork? If people are interested,
I sell them.
I'm
not so long. So
go on the website.
Yeah, you could send them. I mean, like, I sell them randomly on the website, or people just phone me, really, or when they come to my exhibition. You know, I mean, I sold 2 just a few months ago, and a lot of people's getting an idea now of the concept, you know, about Art Breaker. Because if you look at my early stuff, a lot of my artwork was very much new to the concept because I was working on it. And then like my art pieces today, you see more of a definite style of vital art, you know. So with Art Breaker movements and all that on it, you're going to understand the whole concept and what it entails. Yeah.
So apart from the Art Breaker project, is there any other project that you're currently involved with at the moment?
Well, I'm a reparationist. I mean, I'm a community activist. I mean, like, I like to, you know, represent my people, my ancestors, in terms of the injustice of what goes on in the community with my people. So I'm quite a bit of an activist. I've always been an activist anyway, for many years, you know, from early 70s. I follow my mother because she was an activist, and you know, I had family members who are activists. So we've always been into the Black movement and being, you know, a voice for the people who don't have a voice. Yeah.
Do you have any immediate plans in the future to travel or go to any particular events that you're interested in? Is there any particular things that you have planned in the pipeline?
Yeah, I just like to promote my artwork and go to events where there's art. I enjoy looking at people's art and, you know, enjoying art. Yeah, I like to go to travel, you know, to launch my artwork because a lot of people said that they've always found it very interesting, and you know, they'd like to have me out. Like, I've been invited to America, to Europe, Africa. So it's only due to the COVID why everything was on hold at the time. So now I'm starting to get all these exhibitions out.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, I should be in Birmingham next month with Art Breaker for the B-Side Festival.
Are you still actively creating new art as well, like all your Art Breaker pieces?
Yeah, I'm still, even still now, even today I was going to do some more artwork.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm still doing it. Yeah, I'm still doing some artwork.
Looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah, I think, you know, because I'm an old school Bgirl, you know, the whole idea with Art Breaker is that that when you come to a stage in life that you're slowing down, you don't need to go to battles no more. You don't need to enter the competition no more. You know, for me, it was just perfect for me to just stay home and b-boy by myself with paint. And it was a statement that I could make, because when I went to Rotterdam, a lot of people saying, "Oh, Hanifa, do your backspin, do your windmill. Can you do those drills? Is your windmill still the same?" And I thought, come on, man, after all these years, you know, so they're saying to me, you know, just do some moves. And I thought the best I could do is put my moves on a canvas And then you can take my canvas with you. There you have my backswing, and there you have my windmill, and there you have all my top and everything. So that's what I wanted to do. That was the whole idea of how Artbreaker started. Yeah, to put my move on canvas.
And it's quite symbolic because what you said just now about how Artbreaker, you kind of, it's like you in your own room doing breaking as how you like it and enjoy it, and it's kind of like going back full circle to how you started when you sneakily do it in the room, and then your brothers support you doing the 6-step. It's amazing. It's how it just went all the way back to the beginning. It's incredible.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, with Artbreaker, it's all unique. It's all you how you want it done, whatever style you want, tap rocks, footwork, whatever. Whether you're gonna do a spin move on it, it's all about boils down to how you want to do it. You know, the thing with Artbreaker and b-boy art and, you know, b-boyism, it's all about identifying the movements in the artwork.
Yeah.
So if I was to do, say, some top rocks, it would be top rocks defined with, say, my Adidas Campus or my Adidas Shell Toes, you know, and then I'll use a different color paint for different steps.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then that's the top rock done and complete.
Nice.
So for me, you know, that's Artbreaker. Yeah. B-boy art is when I do my top rock, same trainers, but after I've done it, I will get a paintbrush or get something and scribble on it or do some marks on it. That's b-boy art.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
B-boyism is when I do my artwork, so there's a canvas and I take a picture of it and I digitalize it.
Oh.
That's b-boyism.
Nice. So there's
three
different concepts. Yeah.
Yeah, really there's 3 different concepts for movement. So when you see some of my posts I put on Instagram, you'll get an idea of which one's an original piece, which one's a digitalized piece, because a digitalized one is b-boyism. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, so that's my concept. So I got the 3 concepts out of 1, and it's all called vital art. Vital is a Swahili word that means shoe. It means shoes. That's what it means.
So for those who want to check out your Instagram, what is your IG account? The name of it?
It's HANIFA _b-boy art.
Nice.
Or Bgirl art. Sorry, it's Bgirl art. HANIFA _Bgirl art. Or they could just go to my website, and from the website they can get to the Instagram page.
Nice. Okay, so any last word you want to give to some of the new generation B-girls and B-boys, like last word of advice or motivation? Like what do you want to say to the present day B-girl and B-boys?
Just keep rocking and enjoy it while you have it in you, because I can't throw down as much as I want to, like I did back in the 80s. I mean, if I was to do my windmill today, it's not going to be the same as how it was, you know, 30 years ago, 30 years ago. You know, so just enjoy the dance, keep rocking and stay positive, and, you know, make sure you work on your careers as well, because you can't be dancing forever.
Word.
Yeah, there's going to be a point in life where you're going to feel you're probably not earning enough money, or you need to, you know, work on a new career, or you probably have to move home, or, you know what I mean, and start something fresh and new. So things change in life, and to be prepared and have a backup plan always. That's my advice. Always have a backup plan. And just make sure that you're around positive people, because, you know, you bounce off people's energy, and you need to be around the positive energy, because really, if you're around negative energy, it will show up on you.
Word.
So that's the best advice I could give to the up-and-coming B-girls and B-boys, you know, to just keep enjoying the dance and just stay positive and be around positive people.
Nice. That's the perfect way to end the episode today. Thank you so much, HANIFA. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. One love, yeah.
I really hope I can come to the UK and meet you in person.
Oh, you need to come to the UK. God willing, I hope you come over. Because it's been a long time since I last seen you. It's been a long time.
For sure. I might have to go to your website to buy one of those canvas now.
Yeah, you know, I think some of the old ones, I need to update my website actually, because I got my new collection here. So half of those that's on the website, they're going to be prints now. They're not the originals. They're prints.
Mm-hmm.
I have to print them off. I'm sorry. Well, don't worry. I can get these all sorted. But yeah, my new collection is going to be up on my website soon.
All right. Stay
but
blessed, Hanifa.
I'll be at B-side. I'll be at B-side Festival.
I can't wait to hear from Footloose about how that jam is going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Stay blessed. Thank you so much again.
Stay safe. One love.
Peace
Peace and blessing.